On this week's episode of Out Loud with Rob and Rachel, manifestation is the big topic. How powerful it is to manifest your thoughts, your visions, and for creative validation to take you through that journey. We're rebranding and we're so excited for you to hear all about it. Come on in and join us.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again to the Out Loud podcast with Rob and Rachel. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Really good.
Busy week for me.
Yeah.
Really busy
dark
week.
Early. And
I know. I don't like
all this stuff.
I actually don't like that. I'm one of those people that I leave so early in the morning that when I get home and it's
right. No
really
day
dark
for you.
Yeah, it's hard. And I don't go outside during the day. Yeah. So It is hard. It is hard.
But we're going to talk about how we are kind of like branching out a little bit.
Yeah, we have some exciting news. We're expanding Out Loud.
Yeah, we're going to kind of focus more on topics that, and we have been already in a way,
so.
but
I think so.
But more general topips that we're interested in,
Relevant to people our age, and just more far-reaching. I feel like just like that we can, which actually makes what you want to explain how we can be far-reaching and how we would love to get our viewers involved in Out Loud.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to go it or?
No, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel and I, we both like talking about certain subjects, whether it's ADHD or introversion or just kind of like, I guess, what would you call that? Human behavior?
Yeah, human behavior. Just right? Like sociology in general. Yeah, even Pat, like talk about like what things were like in the past and as versus now. Like, yeah. I guess that's an awesome way to describe it. Human behavior.
So we're gonna have for each social media platform, will have its own social media platform. So the platforms that it's on now, IZNEB, we're just gonna stop posting on that. If you want to follow along with us, we'll make sure everybody knows about it.
Come on over.
We've been having some success with some reels that, been getting.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's been fun. And it's always interesting, the ones that get 100 views compared to the ones that get 10,000 views. And
our followers are going up, and we want to thank you guys so much. We love doing this. We have so much fun talking about it, and we're both learning so much in the process. Rob gets obsessive.
Yeah, a little bit.
when he hones in on a topic that you really find intriguing, and in turn he teaches me. So you teach me so much about topics. So,
I learn a lot from you too. Thank you.
We really want to reach out and just ask for you guys to join us in the conversation, actually, because we know a lot, but we don't know enough about a lot of things that we really would like to know about. So we're reaching out to you and asking that we would love your feedback on things that they want to talk about and learn more about. And if you'd like to come on to our podcast, and if you can't join us in our 2 seats that we have here, that again will pan out eventually. And if you're just listening, we have 2 seats next to us. If you can't join us in those 2 seats, we have in Rob's fantastic studio the capability to speak to anybody in the world, really, right?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I know a lot of people like in the addiction spaces, and even when I don't struggle with certain subjects, I find them fascinating. And addiction for me is one of those things, and ADHD and all that stuff.
So I want to springboard on that. You said addiction, which was interesting that was one of the first things that you brought up, because I was talking to you about that podcast that I was listening to recently, Mel Robbins. I went on to try and learn more about adult ADHD because, I've been in the child, field forever. I've been an educator for almost 30 years and a special educator. So I see a lot of ADHD and, different, but I don't know a lot of the adult ADHD, how to manage it, and I know how it affects me now, but I didn't realize what it was for so long, right?
Sad kind of.
It really is sad because I guess it's like we really had to go through like so many hurdles to finally put a name on it and say, okay, so this is what it's called and this is how I handle it. So when I not Googled, but like when I searched on Spotify for a podcast, I put in adult ADHD.
Okay.
And one of the first ones that it brought up was the Mel Robbins podcast that she had with, what is Dr. Christopher Palmer, I believe is his name. And he's from Harvard, I think. But again, I should have double checked before we came on. I did not. But the conversation was fascinating. The first thing that I found really fascinating about it was that ADHD is considered a mental disability. It is a mental disorder in the DSM-5, which is shocking to me.
Like, too, yeah.
And like insulting, actually.
No, I agree. Yeah. Like, and I'm not neurotypical. I never knew I wasn't neurotypical.
I knew that it's called neurodivergent. I did know that it was called neurodivergent, and I know that it's a spectrum of neurodivergence, right? So there's so many different levels to it. But when they explained that it is listed as a disorder,
I want to know if I get a parking space close enough to the beach. I mean, then I'm all for it. If I could capitalize on this, that would be absolutely wonderful.
But here's the flip side of that. I'm going to tell you though. Here's the flip side of it. So the student that I was talking to you about, I actually asked her permission if I could mention this on the podcast. And so she and her husband.
College student?
Okay. Yes, a college
Let
student.
everybody.
I'm sorry, thank you. I teach both at the K-12 level and then at a college level. So this was a college student who I've become very acquainted with. I've had her for 3 classes already. And throughout the 3 classes, she's been very forthcoming with her. She and her husband are in the process of trying to adopt.
Oh, wow.
And he's a veteran. He's a soldier. He's not a veteran. He's still in the military. He's still enlisted.
National Guard or something?
Yeah, no, he's fully enlisted, actually, I believe. And so they are looking to adopt, and she has ADHD. She also has depression and anxiety. She has to list all of those things on the applications.
Oh, wow.
And has to get permission from her doctor or like written whatever saying consent, I guess, saying that she is okay. I actually think that's great for the depression, not the anxiety so much, because quite frankly, what parent doesn't experience anxiety at some point or another,
Even
right?
depression. Well, there is a difference between situational depression.
There is a difference between situational depression and full on depression. And if you are taking care of children and you adopt, I imagine that they would really want to make sure that there is a distinction between those two things. But the ADHD, she's petrified to put on the application.
Really?
Yes. She's so scared because she was like, now I'm going to have 3 things.
Right.
She's like, we talked about
she's diagnosed or she's
no,
self-diagnosed?
No,
then she doesn't have to.
Right now, she doesn't have to. But we've talked about her being able to get accommodations through a 504 plan.
Right.
If she gets diagnosed officially, and she really does not want to because of an application and she would make the most phenomenal parent. And like any child would be so lucky to be loved by her and her husband. And it's so sad to me that a diagnosis of ADHD would possibly make the difference between somebody becoming a parent and not. Like, I think ADHD is a superpower.
Yeah, no, it could be if you know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You got to know you have it first. So that was always my whole problem, is like, I didn't know I had certain things. And once I realized I had something, it became easier to overcome or manage it, I guess, not overcome.
Okay. I can relate to that. Absolutely. I can relate to that. But to counter that, though, I've never been officially diagnosed with ADHD.
Right.
So
no, neither have I. I've been thinking about it though.
So have I, actually. Isn't that interesting? But what would it change though? Because I've learned through the years how to compensate, and I've learned strategies to overcompensate for my failings.
So for me, it wouldn't necessarily change anything, but it would do is there's a family history. So I could tell my kids. So when they have kids, if somebody asks anybody in your family at ADHD, my dad was diagnosed with it, or so just more for that stuff. And I'm just curious. I'm a curious guy, but I would say absolutely. I don't think I need to get diagnosed.
Right. Right. So I don't know that just the diagnosis would change somebody's ability to, I think maybe if they were diagnosed earlier, it might save them from a whole bunch of heartache and hurdles. Like we were just talking about, like, I can't believe the amount of hurdles that I had to, I mean, it took me 8 years to graduate college because I couldn't manage my time. But meanwhile, I was working 3 full-time jobs, basically.
I'll throw out a term for you. There's something called an ADHD tax. Have you ever heard of that? An
ADHD tax. Is it? No. Is it a figure of speech?
Yes. It's what ADHD costs.
Yes.
I can tell you, and this is before I started reading about
pay.
I would
the
say
price that you pay for having ADHD.
For me, it's well over $1 million through my adult career.
In money, you could actually put a dollar amount on it.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting because of the line of work that you do. You could actually quantify that like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, as an educator, it hasn't, because I'm still, my job is that amount of time, right? So like it doesn't change. It's not dependent on my ADHD management.
But you still have a tax. It could be because a lot of people.
Oh, I have a lot of tax.
Right.
I mean,
even financial.
I'm just saying, but I don't know that it's from work.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree with you.
Not pay late fees on parking tickets.
Well, wait a minute. What about a tax on how long it took me to finish college?
Right. No, exactly.
That was my ADHD.
Right.
And I paid double the amount of college tuition.
Plus you weren't earning.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
No, it pushed I always used to say that my life was pushed back so many years. Yeah. And that's why it's funny, because I always say that time to me is the most valuable commodity ever. Mm-hmm. And no matter who you are or what you do in life or how much money you have or anything, like, it's an equalizer.
Yeah.
Time is just an equalizer.
Right.
You can't gain any more with your money you know what I mean? Like there's a finite amount of time in every single day. And it's a matter of, your money can buy like you able to manage it a little better because somebody else could do things for you. But, if you waste time, you can't get it back, no matter who you are.
But that's the thing, though. That's where the ADHD tax really comes into play, is because you're spending more time and making less. So it's not like
so then
so it's not a client.
Yeah, I know.
You spend more time.
I know, but I think time is more valuable than money.
I know, but when you have ADHD, you're spending more time too, right?
Right.
And so it's not like there's a compensation. Okay, I spent more time on this, but at least I made more money. No, both are wasted. So it's a double whammy.
It's awful.
Yeah,
it's definitely awful. And how about all of those people out there who failed out of classes because they weren't accommodated for their ADHD, and then they had to double pay?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know. I have a friend.
And it's not even that. So what some college students with ADHD have a problem with, they don't sign up for the classes in time because of their ADHD.
Oh my God! Wait, but nobody manages that?
No.
Don't they have help?
Maybe now, but some of the stuff I was reading, the current book that I'm reading, that's what happened with this woman. She didn't sign up for classes, so she had to take classes that nobody wanted, that wasn't part of the curriculum, and then that extended her. I mean, it sounds crazy, right? It's an ADHD tax.
Well, I'm going to talk about another ADHD tax, because this, I believe, is a very important and really bad part of the higher education system, like the format of it. My first class ever in college, while I was away, by the way, so I was away in college, my first class was a Thursday night.
Right.
Anthropology class that was 3.5 hours.
Oh, my God.
Needless to say, I failed that class. I didn't have a fighting chance. Right. I mean, I was an underachiever. I was a class A underachiever. Like, literally, I would have won the award for the underachiever. Like, if there was an A in a class for underachieving, I would have been.
And ironically, you're an educator times two.
Well, I have to tell you, though, that I educate my students now in every way that I was not educated. Sure. Like, I learned what not to do as an educator for various learners for that reason, because nothing that was done in the education system helped me at all. So I right away I failed out. So I feel like they should, I know not everybody knows what they want to do when they first start college, but you got to give interesting classes initially.
Right. Yeah.
You have to rope people in. Like the buy-in has to be there, right?
Yeah.
You don't put somebody in an anthropology class who failed science in high school.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to do well. Newsflash. Like, and it shouldn't be a newsflash to anybody. Like, that's mind-boggling to me. It really is. Like, so that's where I feel like the education system sets up neurodivergent students for failure almost immediately. Immediately.
Yeah, I remember for me, it was, I remember almost the exact day when shit hit the fan in school. It was fourth grade. I wonder if that's normal. I remember.
Well, it is normal.
It is?
Well, yes.
Miss Rosen's class, I all of a sudden, I remember the day sitting there, it's like, I don't understand anything anymore.
You said that out loud?
In my head.
In your head, you said
Yeah, but before that, I was okay. I thought I was navigating.
Because what happens is it gets harder and you can't mask what you don't know anymore, right?
Yeah.
So the gap becomes wider and wider, and it becomes more obvious.
Yeah, the masking thing is very prevalent for people with ADHD because instead of acting like you don't know what the hell's going on, you mask it, so you're only disappointing once when you actually fail, not while the process is happening.
I have to tell you, I'm going to go back to the Mel Robbins podcast with this doctor, and they were talking about the difference between when we were growing up, boys being diagnosed and girls not being diagnosed because of the behavior of the boys, right?
Right.
So the masking comes when they don't know what they're doing and they can't. They're asking students to sit still for 5 hours in a traditional classroom where they can't. So they act out, and then immediately they're labeled the problem child, right? So
that's the hyper part, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got to apologize. Last week, I was pretty adamant about how I like ADD.
Okay.
But so what I've learned, so we'll talk about this later, but
that's okay. Go.
And before this podcast, I was telling Rachel how I don't know what I learned until the conversation comes. Even to this day, I think I learned not much. Then all this stuff was coming up.
You don't realize you retained it.
The hyperactive part is also verbal violence too.
Oh, you overshare.
Right. So that's...
Which I used to do all the time. I used to come home from school and my mother would say, why do you have to tell the neighbors everything?
Right. Where the boys will be punching each other.
Yes.
The girls overshare more. And so that was one of the things I didn't understand last week that I understand this week, that comes in different forms.
Do you know what else the doctor said? That ADHD, in order for it to be ADHD, needs to be present before the age of 12 or by the age of 12. It doesn't need to be diagnosed by the age of 12. Right. It could never be diagnosed, but the symptoms...
That makes sense, yeah.
Are there before the age of 12 in truly ADHD people.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I found fascinating was that he believes, and again, I'm not endorsing at all. He believes that there's a difference. So he believes that ADHD is manageable and not necessarily cured, but almost curable. With diet, exercise, and like feeding dopamine in the more natural types of ways. And so Mel Robbins said, but what about autism? Are you saying that, because there's very often other comorbidities with autism.
Right.
It's not just, autism, but they also may have seizure disorder or they may have anxiety, OCD, ADHD. There's many other, that's part of, their entire diagnoses. And so the difference is, he said, when there is a social disorder, that cannot be cured.
Right. What
that
autism is kind of.
There is a social disorder involved in the neurodivergence. But if there is not a social component associated with the ADHD, he believes that it's manageable. curably I don't even know, manageably curable or curably manageable. Like,
I know, I believe that because
I don't know, because he doesn't believe it's fully curable.
No, no, it's manageable. Yeah.
Where you could almost live a non-existent ADHD life, kind of, where it doesn't surface.
Yeah, the most clarity I had in my life was when I was running marathons. I would say that's when I decided to start a new business, like start a whole new career with a new business. Where this office is now, I was running marathons, and I would.
So the dopamine
I would agree with that.
Comes in really like pure forms of creativity in some way, whether it's athletically, because I believe you're creating this like path. I believe like you're either it's a routine, whether it's a running routine or something like that. Like it allows your mind to open up. Like you're creatively thinking when you're exercising. I believe.
Yeah, and I just think your body changes when you're working out that hard, especially. And it was it's the dopamine's not just from running; it's something big to look forward to.
The dopamine doesn't come from.
It doesn't only come from the running. It's something huge to look forward to, right?
So the marathon is the dopamine?
The journey is the dopamine.
The journey is the dopamine.
The training. So knowing that you have to train to run 26 miles. Now, let's put that in perspective. If you were to go home to East Brunswick right now, that's about 15 miles.
Well, so you're talking to somebody who I literally bow down to people who are runners like that, because I don't have the stamina to run out of a house in a raging fire.
So the journey of it is more like, can I do it? Right. Like the journey. So you're getting excited, but by the time the marathon comes, you already know you can do it because you did the training, or you know if you can't do it, or if you know it's gonna. So it's the journey of it is the dopamine run, not the actual running. For me, I never got that runner's high that people talk about, but it was before the run,
Okay.
And, but exercising for me, everything's better when high intensity exercise. And going for a walk doesn't do it for me.
And, he's not anti-meds. Like he definitely wasn't one of those anti-vax or anti-meds. He has 30 years of literally dedicating his life to studying the science of ADHD. So here's where it gets. He says, so she asks him to break it down. She says to him, I'm a visual person, like really more like, which is, multi-kinesthetic is a very ADHD thing. You need to see it in, multiple forms. And she said, I need to visualize it in my head. Like, give me a visual of what is actually happening with somebody who's neurodivergent, really ADHD neurodivergent. And he said, do you know how your body metabolizes food at different rates, right? So there are slower... that it's a brain metabolism.
Right. No, I understand that, yeah.
In certain areas of the brain, the metabolism of these enzymes that make it run smoothly is slower, which causes the ADHD in that area. So if it's slower in a certain area, it affects the executive functioning, part of you more. Yeah. And then if it's, I'm not kidding you. I was driving to work and I was like, holy shit, like it makes perfect sense.
I understood a little differently, but it's kind of the same thing.
Oh, you did? All right. Tell me how you understood it.
No. I think it's similar. It might be the same, but it almost like the dopamine gets dispersed differently.
Well, no, but that's the same. It is the same.
I listened to something. This is from the book I'm reading.
So it is the same thing. So the dopamine, that's where it fuels. Right. So the dopamine is the fuel for that metabolism to speed up.
Right.
So it is. Yeah. So it goes to those slower areas, which then makes, so it is the same thing.
And that's what the medications do regularly.
Exactly.
See, I'm an expert.
He is an expert.
No, I'm just kidding.
Total. One book. That's all it takes. One book.
Half a book.
But I was driving to
It's fascinating.
Nobody's ever in my entire almost 30-year career of working in special education ever simplified it as much for me as he did.
No, I know.
In 3 seconds.
It's disappointing to me because I've been through therapy at different parts of my life. And
Me
one
too.
time for like 2 years, and no one ever.
Never.
And it's like obvious.
I know. I think for me too.
And it never even.
Never. I've been in therapy as well.
Yeah, it's really
Nobody's ever
strange.
said anything to me.
Yeah.
Like I worked for when I think back at that principal who said to me, why do you come in here like a tornado? Like, why didn't anybody say, you're so ADHD, chill out? Like,
one of the biggest issues with ADHD, when you tell somebody you have it, everybody in the world shares a lot of the same experiences. They can't focus on some things, but people so they say, oh yeah, I'm like that too. You know what I mean?
I know,
so
right.
they dismiss it. But the difference is if somebody without ADHD is going to take on a very boring task, an unrewarding task that they don't like, they can get through
right,
it.
exactly.
Where someone with ADHD it's almost impossible.
It's ADHD paralysis we were talking about before. And what was the other thing that you called?
The other one is
choice
passive.
paralysis?
No, it's passive motivation. Passive.
Passive motivation?
Yeah, passive. Here, I got it here.
Yeah.
You can go on and I'll...
we say, like, there are times where I always used to say I do my best work under pressure. And it was just like a funny thing that I would say. I mean, I have literally finished like a 20-page term paper with research. And this was before ChatGPT. This was before formatting of like, Word documents and all of that. I would finish a 20-page research paper, APA formatted, bibliography, cited, sources cited, footnotes, the whole nine, in like 4 days when I would have like 2 weeks to do it, because there was no way that I was sitting down to do that before 4 days before. Yeah. My brain did not allow me to.
Right.
I would do everything and anything but that until 4 days before. But you know what? When I learned that that's the way that I work best, I was a 4.0 student in both of my master's degrees programs, both of them.
Yeah, so that's what they say. So if you are struggling with that, and let's just say you had 3 weeks to complete a task, that might only take 3 days. Instead of starting at 3 weeks, just start it at the last 3 days.
That's no, because then I know I'm getting it done.
Yeah, no.
And here's the thing, I'm not stopping. I won't see. We were talking about this too, being on time and those kinds of like, I am hyper vigilant when it comes to being on time and like due dates and things like that. Like I will make sure that I take on the group head role if a project is due, because I want to make sure that it's handed in on time, that it has all the elements, because if it has my name on it, it needs to be perfect. That's just part of OCD. So I will make sure that but that's also part of that hyper fixation on it and the ADHD part of it.
Yeah, the hyper focus is, it's fun. I recently went off of Facebook and...
I know. How you doing with that, Rob?
Oh, really good. Yeah, really good. No, it's really life-changing to a point, and it's only been like a few days. So, but the difference is that what I realized this time, and this isn't uncommon for me. I go off Facebook for like a year at a time.
Okay, I've never done it. Yeah, I've never had any, felt like it was.
But what I'm realizing this time, Facebook, and I have a relation with Facebook. I like the discussions I have, and it doesn't aggravate me, but it just takes my attention away. But I was unable to hyper focus with my business one-on-one.
You were on
Facebook because I was hyper focusing on Facebook.
So that's what we were talking about that, and you said it was distracting me, and I said because you were finding other things to hyper focus on,
right?
And that was taking your bandwidth, I like to say. Like, your bandwidth was being all used up on issues on Facebook that were...
Like, it's scary the amount of work I got done the last 4 days. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
So how long what's your over-under?
25 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, I put a...
You put a pound on it?
I put a pound on it.
Okay, I'm not going back. You heard it here.
I just found the word I was talking about before is passive procrastination.
Okay.
Yeah. So
as opposed to active procrastination, which is it related to ADHD paralysis, or is there just the difference between it?
I'm not really sure. There's a little bit of a difference. Passive procrastination is when you won't let yourself even think about it, which I have a hard, this is
You won't let yourself think about the task?
the task.
So if I have a term paper, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm doing everything and thinking about everything but that.
So for years.
So it's somebody who's good with compartmentalizing things, correct?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's one way you can describe it.
You have to be.
So there's certain things that I'm really friggin' bad at.
Okay.
And it's not good. And anything to do with insurance.
Okay.
Anything like dealing with health insurance or
like paperwork part of it you're talking about?
Most of it, even paying a parking ticket or
and I know.
And
I know.
Like I literally, so for years,
man.
I've been telling Gina, is like, can you just pay this? And I would be like, I can't do it. I just can't do it, and I won't think about it. I'll see it on the table every day.
I know,
and I just won't do it. But it's a really big problem. I'm driving around East Brunswick with a suspended license. This has happened recently, or it might be suspended. I'm not sure if it's because it's a $30 parking ticket.
Oh,
I just can't bring myself to do it.
But now you have to.
Well, now I understand it, so I will be able to. Like until my license, I think, is suspended, I won't pay it.
Still, even now, you've identified the issue?
No, I just identified it 2 days ago. So
but now we're 2 days later, and you've identified it 2 days ago.
Well, I have any outstanding parking tickets right now.
Oh.
But that's that goes back to the ADHD.
So it's not going to affect you right this moment.
No, but it has.
God. I'm like, Rob.
No, but then that goes back to the ADHD tax, because now that ticket is like $30 more because I didn't.
Or it could be more.
But it's a very common thing.
Though. It could even be more than that.
I listened to a couple podcasts in the book I'm reading, and a biggest thing with people is doing their income tax.
Because it's tedious. It's not easily understandable, right? Like always. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, but it's not even just that, because it's in line with the parking ticket. Like taxes and parking tickets were.
Why do you think it's I'm not understanding the connection.
I'm not really sure.
What's stopping them? What's the why? What and how are they?
There's no reward. There's no reward for a lot of people. There's no immediate reward.
But paying your parking ticket means you're not.
No, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
You're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, but I have passive.
That's your reward. Congratulations, you're not going to jail.
I have serious passive procrastination.
I do also.
Serious.
I do also. Listen, I change the sheets in the house every week, right?
Right.
We change the sheets. I wash them. They sit in the laundry basket.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
For like a few days, and I pass it every day.
Yeah. No.
And it would take me 5 minutes to do it.
I thought that was normal behavior.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
That's part of our ADHD.
Yeah. No, I know.
Because most people would say, but it takes you 5 minutes to just do it right away, and then it's done for the week. Like, why don't you? Like my sheets are wrinkled sometimes because I leave them.
No, I know.
For so long, washed, like dried, cleaned in the.
Is that the paralysis or that's?
I don't know. We need an expert.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we need some.
We need an expert to come on and tell us the difference. That's our call. Maybe you're
going to have a disclaimer in the beginning of each podcast.
What's my disclaimer?
That we're not experts.
We are not experts. I do say it all the time. We're not experts. Yeah. We are not experts.
No.
Is this working? We are not experts. I will never claim to be an expert. As a matter of fact, I always tell my students that I learn more from them than sometimes they are learning from me. Because I am always, when I say forever in the classroom, it's not even just a cliche thing. I legitimately feel like I am always learning, and I never want to stop learning. No. I would go back for my doctorate right now if I could. You're going to laugh, but if my university that I work at right now, if they had a master's degree, a doctorate in ADHD or something like that, I would jump on that bandwagon in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I could see that.
I would want my doctorate to be in something really, really meaningful for me at this point, because it wouldn't even necessarily be for a career.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I always felt like I want another shot at education.
Interesting.
No,
and what would be different?
I think I would enjoy learning. Now I know.
You would, because you know what? I know when I went back for my master's degree at the different stage of my life where I wanted to go back instead of, when I felt like I had to be in school right after high school, I got so much more out of it in both of my master's degrees than I ever did in 8 years of undergraduate.
Yeah, I guess because I feel gypped that I didn't enjoy learning at a young age. So I feel like, and now, but the beautiful thing is now, you can go, or you could just learn. Probably
or you would
not.
just learn at the College of Hard Knocks.
I would do it.
College of Hard Knocks?
No, I would do it online.
Okay.
And I would just stay here.
That's why I was able to be so successful at both of my master's degrees, because they were both online.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it at my own pace.
I would probably rather just take classes instead of going for a degree.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Sort of cherry pick the ones that you want, the interesting ones that you want. Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's more realistic. Because at this point, a degree is not going to do anything for me.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So like for somebody with ADHD, having to take classes that have no interest for them is so difficult.
Yeah.
So being able to get a taste of like the things that they really like right away will make them want to, stay in college and be successful, so that they, can continue to take the classes that they really like. I don't know who makes those decisions.
No, well,
it's very interesting. Certainly not somebody with ADHD.
Education doesn't keep up with technology or the data right away. It takes a while for all to.
It's been a really long time that this should have been.
Yeah.
Differentiated instruction, like different types of, you have your Montessori's, you have like different types of, environments.
Yeah, it's not available for everybody.
But right. And actually, just to really quickly and then we can wrap up this whole thing with, this doctor that I heard on the Mel Robbins podcast. But the last thing that I remember him talking about was there are certain environments that are conducive to ADHD. So there are certain environments where people thrive, right?
Careers too.
And certain certain and even geographical locations, like because of their cultural ways, are just more acceptable of children not sitting in a classroom for 8 hours a day, so, and then there are certain environments where they're worse for people with ADHD, because they do require so much more of these people who can't sit still or, or even focus for, very long periods of time. And so that's why some people with ADHD have been able to compensate so well, and others have been able to have been led to just fall apart.
Yeah.
And that's what, so it is, environment is very big part of it.
Every business owner I know has ADHD and some learning disability.
Because they couldn't work for somebody else?
Yeah. They needed to
be their own boss.
Yeah, they needed to be their own boss. Yeah. Almost I would say every single one. Yeah, I would say.
Well,
all my clients are definitely.
And think about so many of the genius business people, like the CEOs of some of these really creative companies. They didn't finish college, and they were, while they were in college, they were hanging out in their dorm room, doing what they wanted, creating their own entrepreneurial whims, because they didn't want to be in those structured.
I would go one step farther. I don't even think they didn't want to be. They can't be.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. It didn't work for them. Yeah. So
they physically
didn't want to, because it was painful for them. Yeah. It truly was. It just wasn't. Yeah. So when I say didn't want to, I mean just it wasn't right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. I want to talk. So we're talking about creative outlets and sitting in the room and I have to draw attention to something that I've been thinking about. And you talk about not doing it enough. I do it all the time. It hasn't always worked. Manifestation.
Right.
I manifest all the time. I meditate. I don't do it as much anymore as I used to meditate, but I used to meditate every single night before I went to sleep. I do yoga, and I manifest a lot. And I've listened to a lot of, podcasts on, manifestation and, believing in what you want and knowing, like speaking as though it's already happening out there in the universe, because the universe hears what, and trusting the process, right? Like trusting the process and knowing that it may not look like you want it to look right on the onset, but that the path is leading you to, where you need to be. And I have to just draw attention to the fact that, like, anybody who knows me personally knows that I've talked about doing a podcast literally for like 4 years now. I've talked about doing a podcast, and nobody can see it, but there's a duffel bag on the other side of Rock's studio that has literally almost exactly, the equipment that we're using right now that I bought to start my own podcast, and I just couldn't get out of my own way.
Right.
Like, I couldn't find a clear path, but I manifested it. And I cannot ignore the power of the moment we're in right now. Thanking all of the people who've started to follow us, like people we don't know are following us, and that
yelling at us,
yelling at us. Apparently, we're more polarizing than we thought. I'm sorry ahead of time for things that we may insult people for. I'm not trying to get anybody to believe anything that we are believing or talking about. These are my own personal experiences, and I don't generalize them at all. But I do just want to acknowledge the creative validation. I think that's what I called it earlier. The creative validation that this space has given me, and the power in the manifestation of the whole process.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it, that part of it with you. You're manifesting this.
I've been doing it for years.
And,
years.
Yeah. And science backs that too. Like it actually, like if you believe it,
I totally believe it. Like, and again, it's like, I know I'm going to get wonky right now. I am very wonky and sentimental sometimes. And I know you listen to rap. I love country music. And one of my favorite country music artists is Garth Brooks. And he has a song called Unanswered Prayers. And it says one of God's greatest gifts is unanswered prayers. And it's that, think about that. One of God's greatest gifts is unanswered prayers. Like we always say, why didn't I get it? Why didn't I get this? Why? And I hate the expression, everything happens for a reason. I can't stand that. Why did I get cancer? Why? I don't like that. But
that's a podcast topic. We'll do another time.
Well, bad.
Everything happens.
I can't. My blood boils when that is said to me. But I do thank God sometimes for unanswered prayers, because I do believe sometimes there's a reason that prayers are not answered.
Right.
If you believe in prayers or if you believe in wanting certain things to happen. And I do believe it ties in with the manifestation. Like maybe my podcast didn't work out for whatever reason. There was like missing pieces. So now here's the creative validation.
Right.
And I believe in manifestation. I believe in manifestation. If you know about manifestation, come talk to us.
Yeah. And I bought all this stuff and, the podcast stuff because I tried a couple of times, but for different reasons, it didn't work out. But I always knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But I just had to find the groove that,
right.
And you helped me find the topics, the stuff that, you like to talk about, the same stuff I like to talk about. So that helps a lot. That's what it is.
Yeah. And because we're the same age, same age.
And that's important.
It is important. Yeah. It is important because we can have back and forth dialogue about, I think, pretty interesting things, right? So thank you for allowing our manifestations to come to fruition. And we hope that you'll join on our conversation. And we look forward to seeing you guys the next time and for you hearing us the next time.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.